What is up, guys? I hope you all had a wonderful happy new year, because yeah, this is my first video in 2021 and I just wanted to thank all of you guys for the massive support on this channel. And I mean, my god, not only did I just reach 36 subscribers from like 25 within the span of just 2 videos, but also close to 100 views on my last video. Like, that is just nuts, and I never expected to reach that sub count that fast. And I just wanted to say, I couldn't have done it without you guys, so thank you so much. I'd really appreciate the support. But what better way to start off this year than to take a look at some quality ass content from the useful idiots on YouTube. And no, this time we're not going to be roasting the usual suspects that everyone already knows about, like your JTags, your MGBs, your Harmon Smiths, but a much smaller but still pretty idiotic console fanboy that goes by the name of Dan Petrov, and a video he made that, let's just say, has a very spicy title.
PC gaming sucks and consoles are better.
Like, straight to the point, man. Like, this guy isn't even sugarcoating it that he's putting out a terrible clickbait video. I'm sure he purposely didn't put this title in to bait people into clicking his pathetic excuse of a video. Of course not. Everyone already loves this video, see? Oh, well, shit. Never mind.
Hey guys, welcome, is Dan here, just sitting on the floor as usual.
Yeah, we can clearly see that, dude. This has to be one of the weirdest positions to record a YouTube video I have ever seen. But hey, I'm not gonna judge.
So what I would like to talk about today is something that I had a huge argument with one of my friends recently. And the thing is that we were thinking, what is better, PC or consoles? In terms of gaming, of course. So nowadays you'll see that PC gaming is pretty popular, like on YouTube and anywhere on the internet really. And there's even subreddits like PC Master Race dedicated to just, making fun of console gaming in every way possible, right?
Wait. Don't tell me you actually think the PC Master Race subreddit of all fucking things is an actual serious subreddit dedicated to shitting on console gaming. No, just no. Please don't tell me you're actually that stupid. They're literally just posting harmless memes and jokes around. And that's enough to upset you? Man, if you're that sensitive to shit people post on the internet, I would love to see your reaction to the things people post regularly on 4chan or 8chan. Your head would literally explode. Like, this is child humor compared to that.
So the thing to remember is that a lot of people will be in PC gaming from the start because, everyone who's watching this and everyone has an internet connection will probably have a PC. And not everyone has a console, of course, just to play games.
Well, not necessarily. If you're talking about this 10 or 11 years ago, you would have a point. But most people these days just use smartphones and laptops for most of their basic needs rather than a desktop PC. So no, not everyone owns a PC these days. There is simply no need for people who only do basic web browsing and watch YouTube and Netflix. But despite that, there are a lot of people who do own one, mostly for demanding applications like heavy gaming or video editing, graphics design, and tons of other stuff that much weaker hardware and phones and laptops aren't able to handle.
And the thing to keep in mind here is that, you buy a PC to do work. You buy to do your homework, do some coding, like video editing. With just a flip of a switch, you can actually turn it into a pretty decent gaming machine, right? And this sort of allows this one device to do basically gaming and work at the same time. The barrier to entry is a lot lower.
Oh, really? But I thought you console guys said for years that the barrier for PC gaming was actually higher because PCs weren't quote plug and play like consoles because they were too complicated. And now you're saying it's lower? What the fuck? That's a new one from you guys. But okay, let's go with that explanation. Tell me how that's exactly a bad thing.
So what this means is that this device can be very multifunctional. So you can start playing games right away with just your keyboard and mouse. Sometimes you might not even need a mouse at all. You can just use your keyboard or, I don't know, a touch screen maybe if your computer has that, right? So that's also a problem in my opinion because it means that you can get distracted a lot more easily. You're doing your work, you're trying to focus on the task, and there's that Steam icon right there on the desktop, 2 clicks away. It's really easy to just slip back into gaming when you're actually supposed to be doing something more productive.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Are you kidding me? Of all things you could have made up, that's the best you could come up with as a negative point for PC gaming. Yeah, I mean, by that logic, you could say the same thing about consoles. Like when you're trying to study in your room, but you keep being distracted by your PS4 or Xbox just tempting you to skip studying and play video games. Yeah, when I put it that way, that does sound pretty retarded, doesn't it? Same logic applies the other way around. So here's a brilliant 100 IQ idea. Maybe don't open Steam when you're working. I know, mind-blowing idea. Don't be a fucking idiot and play video games when you're trying to get some work done.
The second thing is that PC games are built to be used with a keyboard and mouse most of the time. Sometimes they might add a little bit of controller compatibility and such that. And the problem here is that, say you want to play 10 different games, and for each game you need to remember something like 20 different key combinations to actually be efficient and actually be competitive. Something like, I don't know, Warcraft or StarCraft.
Oh god, please no. Don't tell me you look at all the keys on your keyboard when playing on keyboard and mouse. Like, the only type of people who do that are people who never gamed on keyboard and mouse in their entire life. You don't have to literally look at all the keys on the keyboard. It's called muscle memory, my friend. Something which you completely lack, but are blaming it on the controls.
Now, another reason why I stopped liking mice and keyboards in general for gaming is because you're just stuck with this big brick on your desk with this little mouse, and that's it. There's no motion controls, no fancy multi-touch gestures, and all sorts of stuff like you see, I don't know, with a Kinect.
Oh, would you look at that? You can actually play Connect games on the PC. It took me like a single 1-second Google search to find that out. Something which you clearly on the other hand didn't bother to do for this video. But I guess I should have expected that from a console fanboy. You guys never do any research before putting out videos like this.
Or with an Oculus.
Actually, it's the opposite. Oculus headsets are a PC exclusive accessory. You can't use them on consoles. It's hilarious you ironically listed this as a console exclusive device, thinking that PCs are unable to use them. But if you actually look up Oculus, they're actually listed as PC exclusive headsets. You sir just completely discredited yourself with your own argument. Fan-fucking-tastic. And I didn't even have to do anything this time. You did the work yourself. See, this further proves you literally did zero research before making this video. Information like this is listed on Wikipedia, for fuck's sake. Like, this video is so lazily put together. Like, this guy didn't even try to give any well thought out points. No wonder this video is getting dislike bombed to oblivion.
Or with a Switch, for example, with those Joy-Cons.
Once again, wrong. Not only can you connect your Switch Joy-Cons to your PC with ease through Bluetooth without any kind of third-party software, but you can also set it up to use both motion and gyro aiming with pretty much any PC game or emulator through software like VJoy, Joy-Con drivers, and better Joy-Cons. Just look it up online. It's surprisingly easy to set it up.
Now, in general, it is also a lot easier to start playing games on console. Now, you just turn it on, click on your game, and you're ready to go. There's almost no setup needed. You don't have to configure your video drivers. You don't have to, fill out with the settings. It all just works straight out of the box.
Never once in my life I had to go out of my way to install any drivers on my PC. The most I ever do in terms of drivers is use Windows Update to automatically download and install any driver or security update. That's pretty much it really. Heck, you don't even need to do that. Windows just works fine without any updates at all. You can just download your GPU driver and start playing any game. Just like that. Also, the work straight out of the box excuse again. Really dude? Really? You're completely ignoring that you also have to download massive day one updates for both games and the console itself, which takes ages to download, even with high internet speed, because unlike on PC, consoles throttle your download speeds immensely. So can you guys please stop touting this bullshit lie over and over again, because nobody with half a brain is going to buy into it. If you have to install your games and download multi-gigabyte updates on consoles, it's not fucking plug and play anymore, you dumbass. How about you go and learn what the definition plug and play actually means before spouting horseshit like this on the internet?
There's almost no maintenance costs. Sometimes you might have to charge the battery on a portable console. Sometimes you might have to do a little update here and there.
There is not much maintenance on PC either. I rarely if ever open my PC at all. It's been working just fine. And trust me, my PC has been through a lot of abuse over the years. I know that from experience.
But you're now stuck with something like a 2-hour long Windows update, right? Unless you're on Linux.
You serious?
Holy shit. 2 hours long Windows update? What the fuck? I have used Windows my entire life and I've never seen a single Windows update that takes that long. If the update takes that long for you, then there must be something seriously wrong with your PC, because Windows updates takes only a few minutes to complete. If it takes longer than that, then you need to get your PC checked ASAP, because that's not normal at all. Like seriously, 2 hours? 2 fucking hours? Like even the OS installation of Windows doesn't take that long. It only takes 1 hour. So I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this dude's PC.
What's always funny to me is that no one mentions how monopolistic PC gaming is really. So, to actually be competitive in PC gaming, you need to have the best CPU, the best GPU, need to have a stable, fast internet connection to even start playing a game properly. It needs a very expensive high refresh rate monitor, a good keyboard, a good mouse, and it's just very unfair. It's very unfair because not everyone has a few $1,000s to shell out on a good gaming PC and good peripherals.
No, you don't. I mean, sure, those things are nice to have, but you can get a pretty decent entry-level 1080p 60 FPS gaming rig with an older GPU and CPU that can completely outperform at least the base PS4 and Xbox One, even in recently released games. And no, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars for it. And if you want those high-end specs, you can always upgrade to them over time. That's the beauty of PC gaming. Consoles, on the other hand, you are stuck with whatever hardware it came with, and you have to suck it up and deal with it.
You know, it's a lot more democratic in the console world. In the console world, everyone has the same system. Everyone has the same specs, the same hardware, the same peripherals, more or less. And it's just a lot more fair, in my opinion, to everyone who buys a console.
That is the complete opposite of democratic. You're locked into an ecosystem where you can only use one type of hardware, only certain peripherals, and are limited in how you can improve your game's graphics and frame rate. You have to be out of your mind if you think that's a good thing.
Now, if we talk about performance, then of course you won't have the same level of performance on consoles as you'll have on a very good high-end PC. But what I've noticed is that you don't actually need all that performance. What I mean is that developers most of the time will actually do some very clever optimizations for consoles. And the surprising thing is that if you take the same specs on a PC and a console, and you play the same game, it'll actually run a lot better on a console because of all these little optimizations.
Yeah, if by optimization you mean running games at sub 1080p 30 FPS with lower graphics settings. I mean, remember the base PS4 and Xbox One version of GTA 5 Online? Not only that console port looked like complete garbage graphically, but it couldn't even keep a locked 30 FPS and is nearly unplayable these days. Yeah, such a better experience than playing on PC. It not only looks great, but it runs buttery smooth, even on 5-year-old GPUs.
Now, this actually makes developers work in a more creative way. I don't know, it just seems a lot cooler to me. For example, when I fired up Xenoblade 2 on my Switch, I was just blown away by how much they could pack into this tiny little device that I can take with me to the toilet, take with me to the subway, take with me anywhere really, onto a plane for example. And I want to look ridiculous with a huge bulky gaming laptop, for example.
Now you're comparing PC gaming to the Nintendo Switch of all things? Okay, this is just dumb. I'm not even going to bother responding to this.
Now, another thing to mention here is actually the games that you can play on a PC and a console. So what you'll often see is that some games are actually released on consoles first, or they are better optimized on consoles. Now, Rockstar Games is actually quite famous for giving a preference to consoles. They started developing for them in the first place. And then maybe after, half a year or a year later, they'll port the game to PC as well. Now, if you want the latest and greatest, you'll actually end up having to buy a console anyway if you want to keep up with the latest games.
And as a result of that, the PC ports of Rockstar games are far superior to their console counterparts. Better graphics, unlocked frame rate, mod support, and even sometimes exclusive content. Let me put it this way, Rockstar releases the console versions of their games first, so the players on consoles can beta test it for them. So when they do release the PC version, it far exceeds any other ports of their games. So basically, we get the best version of the game by waiting a year or two, while you guys on consoles get the less feature-rich version. Personally, I'm fine with a bit of waiting if it means I can get the best version of the game.
Now, there are also quite a lot of exclusives on consoles as well that you can't play on a PC, or that only come out in a few months down the line.
Ah shit, here we go again. Of course, fucking exclusives. Never mind, the exclusive argument is getting irrelevant day by day as more and more once console exclusive games are being ported to PC, but these console versus PC YouTube channels still have to constantly bring it up for some reason.
And Nintendo consoles are a really great example of this. Now, some of the best games on the planet are only available on Nintendo consoles, and just one game is actually enough to sway people to get that particular system.
That's kinda a moot point because most Nintendo games can be emulated on PC anyways.
And yeah. Now, you might say that on consoles, you're only stuck with 16:9, Full HD in the best case scenario, maybe 4K 60 on something like an Xbox One X. And you can't enjoy games anymore if you have anything lower than 4K 144 hertz or something ridiculous like that. And I think that's actually untrue, because in order to enjoy games, you don't really need that much. 50 years ago, people were just fine with something like Pong or Tetris, and definitely wasn't above even 100 pixels horizontally.
Literally no one is saying you need 4K 144Hz to enjoy gaming. People's criticism with the Switch is that it fails to achieve even 1080p, which is a standard resolution even on the most crappy devices these days. I mean, for fuck's sake, it can't even do 1080p while being docked with a lot of games. That is just sad.
Well, that's it for me for now. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like, dislike, hit that bell. Just do anything, please. I don't even have money for a desk or a table. That'd be pretty helpful.
Begging people for money. I see I found Dark Side feels long lost, brother.
Alright, bye.
Thank God it's over. I was about to shoot myself because holy crap, this video was painful to sit through. I usually don't respond to every few seconds of a video, but this guy was spewing so much bullshit every time he opens his damn mouth that I couldn't help myself. So sorry if this video has gone on for too long. But anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you enjoyed the content I put out, feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of my videos as I go live. I also have a Twitter and Instagram, links to which are down below in the description. So feel free to give me a follow on there too. And if you guys have any video requests, feel free to DM it to me on Twitter or put it down in the comments below. I'll be happy to take any requests to provide you guys with some more sweet quality content. So I think I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Adios.